All right, guys. Got some Pop Rocks here, vintage Pop Rocks. Gotta be a little careful here. They still make Pop Rocks, so nothing interesting there. The vintage ones is where it's at. So we're gonna see what's in here, what came in the mail. Also got out some other Pop Rocks and stuff. So if you want to spy in on my Pop Rocks collection progress, I'll let you get in there and check it out. Also picked up some things from Family Dollar. Had to go up there to get some, forget what I had to get. But anyway, I found some cool candy in there. We'll look at that at the end. Very cool. You can actually find, by the way, if you didn't know this, you can find some candy in some of these dollar stores that you cannot find in some of the big, retail stores. I'm talking about Walmart and Target, if you didn't know. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, I was just on Facebook and did a live stream on Cheap Toys. I had a few come in. Nothing crazy, just some oranges. Damn, I just noticed, sorry, I looked over and I noticed this Chris has a hole in it. Look at that. All right, so yeah, this should be some Pop Rocks. This lot popped up for $50, and I was shocked because there is a truly, truly rare one in here that I know people are looking for. I'm looking for. All right. Get in here and take a look. They're all backwards. Let's make sure that's everything. It is. All right, guys, let's take a look. So, Pop Rocks are one of my favorite candies ever. Some of my earliest candy memories that are, super exciting involve Pop Rocks. That's one thing I think Pop Rocks brought was just a sense of excitement to candy and some wonderment to children. This was a pretty big ass deal back in the 70s to have Pop Rocks. I remember finding them was sometimes hard as a child, and just the experience. It's one of the first candies that really, provided an experience when you ate it. And I remember just always being frustrated every time I ate Pop Rocks of how little came in these packets. Anyway, let's take a look. First one is going to be grape. Notice it's a 20 cents grape. Now, one thing you'll notice with a lot of Pop Rocks, for one thing, they have different colors and flavors, but also they'll have different prices. 20 cents is absolutely insane. Is that what we used to pay? On the back is a timestamp of sorts, some sort of stamp. I'm not sure if that's technically a timestamp. I think it pretty much is, though. It's just the day they made it. Now, this one came from 1980. Let me get you in there. Can you see the 80? So they're pretty easy to date. Now, I have had some of them that don't work like that for some reason, but a lot of them do, or most of them do actually, where you can pull the year off the back. But I have run into sometimes you can't do that for whatever reason. But first one out of the gate, a 20 cents, 1980 General Foods Pop Rocks, sealed. All right, the next one here is obviously orange. The design on these things are out of this world. It goes without saying almost. One of the greatest candy packages of all time. I'm talking about product design, in my opinion. This also is a 20 cent example. And it has, I believe the date's going to be 81 on this, even though it started with the 73. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the 81 here. Very good there. Very good. We're going to save that to the end. That's the amazing one. Next up is going to be probably cherry. Before we flip it, I can clearly see an 80 on this. Here we go. Yeah, for most people, this is the classic one. This is the one that they remember, the red one. They made T-shirts and all kinds of stuff based off of just this cherry design. I mean, red, of course, is just always going to pop probably harder than a lot of the other colors on any sort of like food packaging. There's actually been research studies on that, what colors attracts buyers and shit like that. And so the red is always going to be the one that a lot of people just remember. Even though cherry is not a lot of people's favorite flavor, it's certainly not mine. It's probably my least favorite flavor, the classic flavors. But and then last up is it's green. It's going to be that watermelon one. There it is. Jeez, just such a hard one to find. Can you hear me? Are we back? Sorry, I had a phone call. Yeah, I think my phone, it skips when that happens. Okay, so anyway, this is a watermelon, the green variant. Extremely hard to find. I didn't even have one of these until about 5 years ago. Yeah, see, you can't pull a date off of this. See how this code, it doesn't align with any dates that we know these being around. So this is one of those examples where you can't get a date from it, from the code down there. I was looking on here, you know, sometimes with advertisements you can get dates because things were expired and stuff like that. But I don't see anything like that. Very cool. So I have some other ones we can look at. I'm hoping everyone can hear me. I'm noticing I'm having some messages come in. Okay, anyway, show must go on. So I have these out as well. So I'll just show you some other ones that you can find out there. Here's the extremely rare strawberry. Yeah, very hard to find. It has a date of 83 on it. Not the best condition, but I'm just happy to have an example of it, to be honest. But there's the strawberry. It's kind of a pink one. So as you can see, it's a little different than the red, even though it is very similar. But it's actually more of a kind of a magenta pinkish color. They made a yellow one, a lemon, in the UK. Happy to have that one for show. And they also made a dark yellow one and a tropical fruit that's hard to find as well. Very happy to have one of those. Has a date of 83 on it. So it's pretty satisfying to be able to put these, you know, in sort of a rainbow order. Notice there's no blue one that I know of. I've never seen a blue Pop Rocks. Yeah, we can do this real quick. Let's see here. Very good. That way we'll have blue left off on the end. So very good. Look at that. So I can show you a couple more things. I am going to have to go see what all the fuss is on my phone here. But they did Cosmic Candies. You might remember those. These came a little bit before Pop Rocks. Also Space Dust. There's, I believe, 4 of those to collect as well. Sometimes I have doubles of some because, like I said earlier, some have 20 cents, some don't. I don't always save those. It just depends on what I get in and just kind of what mood I'm in. Like, for example, I remember something with Space Dust. What was it? Let me pull these real quick. Oh, there's a UK one. Look at that. Bonbons. So I'm just trying to find my... Yeah, so... Yeah, there's something with the orange Space Dust. What was it? Oh, okay. Well, see how this has a small face and this has a... Like, it's a bigger circle. And then, actually, if we put this here, this makes more sense. So it went from, see how these are dark and this is light? But this is small and these are large. So there's that. Also on this one, there's a ball here, or a planet here. And on this one, there's not. And then also, if you notice, technically these are space dust. So if you look at just here, and that's a cosmic candy. So it's just, you know, it's kind of a nerdy thing, probably what we're doing here. They also made things like space poppers. I love those things. And here's all your magic gums and crackling gums. And Magic Fizz. Fizz Whiz. Just, it goes on and on. Just making sure I didn't miss something. Big Bang was another one they made. But up here it says from the makers of Pop Rocks. You're just looking at a brand who's just trying to kind of like reinvent themselves, or just kind of offer something that maybe gets people's attention. You know, you're talking about a product that's been on shelves for over 40 years. And so obviously you can't just stick with the exact same thing over and over and over. You have to kind of switch things up over time. They probably get bored themselves looking at their shit. One more thing I guess we can close here is notice my personal example of watermelon has a t-shirt offer on it, whereas this is for the windbreaker. I have noticed this with the watermelons. They come with different advertisements. So it's something cool to look at. I kind of wish, though, I just had one that was plain, that didn't have this big advertisement on it. Because if you notice, my other ones don't have that. So maybe someday I'll maybe track down a plain one. If they exist. I mean, I'm sure they do, but I personally haven't seen one or remembered one. Maybe someone has them. I don't know. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. I do have a collection coming in, actually. It's kind of a small, medium size, but it's certainly it's going to be a nice box full of candy. Not sure if it's going to come today, but if it does, I might try to do a live stream here in a few minutes. So we'll see. See you guys in the next one. Russ Fan out. Man, rough crowd today.